ورتل القرآن ترتيلا.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Inshallah, in this lesson, we will continue from where we left off in the last lesson. And we will discuss something called the strong and weak letters. So as it relates to the sound of the letters in Arabic, they are broken up into two categories. Okay, they're broken up into two categories. The first category is called the strong letters, and the second category is the weak letters. Okay, and inshallah we will discuss this in this lesson. So if we look at the first letter here, alif, okay, and we mentioned that when we have a fath on it, we would say a. Okay, this sound is a weak sound, a. Okay, so I'm going to mark the weak letters with the blue color, and then the strong letters I'm going to mark it with red. So a is a weak sound, ba a weak sound, ta a weak sound, tha a weak sound, ja a weak sound, ha a weak sound. Now if we go to kha, we can see that we've switched now from saying a to a, kha. So that's a strong sound, kha. So where we had a, ba, ta, tha, ja, ha, you can hear all the weak a. That's a weak sound. Then we go to the strong sounds. Now we say a, kha. Okay. Then we go back to weak again. Da, the, and then we go back to strong. Okay, ra, and then back to weak. Za, sa, sha, and then we go back to strong. Sa, da, ta, va, then back to weak. A. Okay, ra, and then back to weak. Fa, and then we have another strong letter, which is the last strong letter, qa. And you can see with all the strong letters, a, kha, ra, sa, da, ta, va, gha, qa, a. So that's the common sound as it relates to fatha on top of strong letters. And then we go back to the weak letters again. So ka, la, ma, na, wa, ha, la, a, and ya. And like I mentioned before in the last lesson, this isn't a type of mistake. So we have this fatha should be on top. So the reason why this is important is because the Arabic language is a very sensitive language. If you change a haraka or a sound in the Arabic language, you can sometimes change the meaning of a word. And the strong and weak letters, some of them sound similar to each other. So for instance, if we look at sad and sin, if you make sin strong, you can say sa, which will make it sound like a sad, which is a whole another letter. And if you change a letter for another letter in the Quran, you can change the meaning of a word. So this is why it's very important to ensure that you know your strong and weak letters and you're paying attention to them. Okay, because you're always going to go from strong to weak letters, from weak to strong, from strong to weak. You're going to be going back and forth. So you need to know when to make a strong sound and when to make the weak sound, and just keeping them in mind whilst reading. So inshallah, this is something that I would just like you lot to practice, whilst we're reading words and sentences, and to just be aware of it and pay attention to it. And inshallah, with time you will get better at it. Inshallah, with time you will get better at it, and it will become easier for you, and you won't have to really think of it as much as you do now, because inshallah it will become second nature. So jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.